Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and get airborne with our full throttle, our second event of our full throttle week, our full week of live trading and training. It's called the Primary Live Trade Brief. It's 10 o'clock on the East Coast of these once United States of America. My apologies, guys. I think in the GoToWebinar, it had 10 p.m. Hopefully 95% of you with a fully functional brain who knows when the market's open, that meant 10 a.m. My apologies there. We're fixing that right now. We're checking all the other times here, but hopefully we're going to get a good crowd filing into the room here. We'll cover the replay where that is from last night. If this is your first full throttle event, welcome aboard. Let me get a quick show of hands or show of something. How many of you attend? Let's do that. How many of you did not attend last night? Give me an N for no if you didn't attend last night. Okay, good. John Paul, it's the Pope. Okay. Okay, good. All right, no worries, guys. I'm going to show you in a couple seconds where the replay is, where you can watch from last night. And all the other assets as well. Stephen didn't, but watch a replay. Awesome, Stephen. I appreciate it and welcome aboard. Let me cover the flight schedule real quickly for the rest of the week. Obviously, last night, guys, we did the welcome aboard at 8 p.m. I'll show you where that replay is in that recording. You're in the Primary Live Trade Brief right now. It's every Tuesday at 10 a.m. not 10 p.m. as it said to GoToWebinar. If we don't get everything done in our live trade brief this morning, I'll send out an urgent alert. I might shoot a video this afternoon, but hopefully we can get through our SPX weekly bear call spread, maybe an Apple front month trade, and also our Facebook Jan 19 trade. Really want to cover how we can do a long-term bullish trade all the way out in the future, hopping in our time machine on Facebook. So hopefully we'll get all that covered this morning. Tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock is our accelerated retirement program. Okay, that's I call it AR for short. That'll be at 1 p.m. I think support already got a couple emails, people asking how they sign up and become a member here at TGO. That's a great compliment that we haven't even started trading yet, and folks want to, but we don't give out that membership information early. 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, or actually when I get done tomorrow afternoon, is when we'll fire the starter gun and we'll grab our 50 new members. Tomorrow night, Wednesday night, you're going to meet Doug Robertson. He's our arb trader, volatility arbitrage trader. He's going to give you a sample of the training you're going to get when you become a full throttle member. Thursday, you're going to attend his advanced live trade brief at 9 a.m. Doug's a great earnings guy. I think he's going to give us a pretty good earnings preview. And we're going to have a blast. You're not going to want to miss Friday, folks. That's when we're going to do our weekly options live trade brief at 1 o'clock and also debrief the week. We'll cover any questions you have on any of the trades we placed this week, any of the training, and then we're going to close our doors. Usually every full throttle launch, we usually fill up our 50 slots by Friday. So we'll probably going to the same thing. Here's what we're going to do this morning. Tuesday, 10 a.m. is our primary live trade brief. I'm going to do a quick intro. I'm not going to waste a lot of time, folks. People showed up last night. We have over 7,000 people, options folks of all skill levels, brand new to options, Jedi Masters, who registered, but you have to watch the replay. I'm not going to waste a lot of time today rehashing what I did last night because those folks already sat through it. You're going to have to watch the replay. It's kind of mandatory because you find out who I am, because a lot of you who just wrote in the chat box and said, hey, this is my first webinar, you got to watch the replay last night and get on board and get up to speed. We're going to talk about our performance. I saved that to the end last night for a reason, because it's about our methodology here, folks, and why we're so our model portfolios are so profitable. This morning, I'm going to give you a quick strategic and operational brief. Yeah, the president's speaking at the UN. If he's a New Yorker and into real estate, right? He should act like he's the landlord, which he is, and throw him out. If I was Trump, I'd stick my finger right in the chest of the United Nations and say, you're deadbeats and you got about a year, and then I'm throwing you out of here. And I heard that the North Korean delegation is actually sitting right in front of him, so this should be good political theater. But we got to focus on what we're doing here this morning. Make sure you download the trade plan. It's over in your documents over on the right side of your control panel here. and because we're going to use that today. We'll take a look at our portfolio, and like I said, we're going to take a look at, hopefully, time permitting, about 3 trades here, one of which I sent out to my members yesterday. Okay. Real quick, folks, again, I'm going to beat this into your head all week. Trading's a form of combat. At the end of the day, somebody's going to win in a trade and somebody's going to lose. And at Top Gun Options, we're going to be on the right side of that trade more often than not. Running the math, it looks like we still have about a 74% success rate in the trades that we send out here at TGO. Let me get a quick. Let me ask you all a quick question here. How many of you? Let me get your percentage, because I want to take a sip of coffee here. We'll do some audience interaction here. What is your success rate target? Annualized. Let's say, hey, Wiz, in the span of 12 months, I want blank percentage of winning trades. Do me a favor and go ahead and enter that into the chat box. Wiz, I want blank percent of winning trades. Let's see what you guys have. What can we come up with? And I'll take a look here. Steve, 100. Eesh. Wrong answer. John, 60. Benoit, 75%. 80. Seeing a lot of 80s, seeing a lot of 60s. A 50. An 80. Whatever it takes to beat the S&P 500. That's a good one. Greg, right down the fairway, 60 to 70. Cliff, 40%. Yikes. Okay. Good, folks. Let me tell you something. As I refresh who you are right now, a professional trader, the average professional trader wants to win 60% of the time. Why? Because over time, that is very, very profitable. Here at TGO, in the 7 years we've been airborne, we're at a 74% win rate. Whoever wrote 100, physically impossible. And if you go to any of these presentations and some guy or gal tells you all they have is winning trades, a fool and their money are soon parted. Don't do it. Whoever wrote 50%, that means you're never profitable. I mean, half the time you're losing money, so it doesn't make any sense. 74%. Exactly, Tom. Well put there. All right, guys, if this is your first webinar and you have no idea who I am, this over-caffeinated guy at 10 a.m. in the morning, my name is Matthew Buckley. My call sign is Wiz. Flew the Hornet for the United States Navy for about 15 years, graduated from the Navy Fighter Weapons School, which many of you know is Top Gun, and also flew 44 combat sorties over Iraq. Got to fly in the backseat of a MiG over Pakistan. I don't even know who the hell that young man is. Look at that. Look like I'm 10. Got to fly in the slot position with the Blue Angels and the number 4 position over an air show in Oklahoma City. And if nobody's ever seen what Kuwait is, you see that's me. This is Kuwait right here, essentially. That's how big that country is. That's me heading back to the aircraft carrier after a mission over Iraq. That's how big this or little, I guess you would say, that place is right now. It's going to be an action-packed week, folks. We had a good time last night. You're going to learn a top secret tactic. I'm going to do that one tomorrow on volatility because I wanted to see how this goes with the United Nations. I want to see how the Fed meeting goes with Janet because we're going to take a look at a top secret tactic many of you don't know about, and also I'm going to teach you a new word in accelerated retirement tomorrow called a tredge. It's a hedge, but it's a trade because remember, in a trade, I want to make money. In a hedge, actually, I hope I lose money on that because that means all of my other positions did well. Remember, you never lose money on a hedge, folks. It's just like we used to say in the fighter squadron, you never lose when you're buying for your buddies, okay? So how's everybody doing today? The bull put spread at the open when I changed my slides here, the SPX weekly, oops, it was a bear call spread. Let me get rid of that right now. Bear call. The bear call spread that I sent out. Now, many of you are sitting here going, I don't know about that. You don't because you're not a member yet. I sent out an SPX bear call spread yesterday, the 25.15, 25.20. I sent it out at $1.35 yesterday, and at the open it was priced at $1. Somebody do the math real quick. Does anybody like being up about? Let me get a show of hands. How many of you would have liked to have made, like some of my members, about $500 in a day? A little over $500. Let's see what the SPX is doing. It's this trade's probably around 500, 600. Oh, okay, good. Some of my members already got out of this trade. Well, here, let me show you the. Here's the screenshot of the trade. because men lie, numbers don't. Here's what I sent out yesterday, guys. It's the same thing. The 25.15, the potential profit in 1 week on this trade is $2,000. I sent it out yesterday. I sent it out via text, and then I followed up it with an email with a screenshot of the trade to my members. So there it is at $1.35, potentially making $2,000 by Friday. I'm not closing this one yet, by the way, guys. And here it is. I got this screenshot at the open here. It was priced at $1 because the SPX rolled over a little bit. We're up one on the SPX right now. So again, folks, we'll talk weekly options more on Friday. This is just for my members because I know all my members are in here right now because we're doing our normal primary live trade brief. Okay, so there's $500 in a day. There's a pretty nice bottle of wine. Okay, folks, we covered this last night, how I went from the cockpit to the trading pit. And everything that I learned flying fighter aircraft, having a strategy, implementing tactics, being disciplined, contingency planning, knowing when to get out of something good or bad before it got worse. And I applied it to my trading, and it worked extremely well. It worked to the point where I popped up on the radar of one of the largest volatility arbitrage options trading firms in the world called Peak Six Investments. Beautiful place. Great people, had the time of my life there. No offense, couldn't stand Chicago winters, but folks essentially helped run a $2.5 billion, the largest vol firm in the world, and I was also the founder and CEO of the Options News Network, ONN.TV. A lot of you guys remember ONN, and I hosted a bunch of the programs there. We always laugh about this because I did feel like Valentine in Trading Places, man. Little old retail trader whiz, just doing what I do, popping up and helping run the largest follower firm in the world. I helped build Options House, which many of you know was a retail brokerage. It's owned by E-Trade now. Helped build a hedge fund, and I built the Options News Network on my own. That's pretty funny. I got that polo shirt on right now. Decided to start my own company back in 2010 called Top Gun Options, and here we are right now. Love South Florida. Don't like the hurricanes. All right, here we go, guys. Let's get airborne. Performance 2016, record breaking. Many of you know the reason 2016 was record breaking here at TGO is because of the guy on the TV. I was one of the few, you can count them on one hand, financial professionals who nailed both predicting that Trump would win and the market would rally. The idiot Lloyd Blankfein, Jamie Dimon, Citi, Goldman, all these folks said Hillary wins running away from it. Why? Because they're all limousine liberals and they wanted her to win. And if Trump wins, the market's going to implode 10 to 15%. I said they're lying to your face. The polls are wrong. I talk to regular people. I do keynotes. I traveled around, last fall speaking to companies around the United States, and I knew what the average American was going to do. And I was right. I predicted Trump would win and a 10 to 15% market rally, folks, and our members absolutely crushed it last year. Triple-digit returns in every portfolio. The most embarrassing portfolio I have to show you from last year is this one. The retirement one was up triple digits, 101%, $100,000 based on a $100,000 model portfolio. So I'm sorry about this portfolio. It's embarrassing. It was my worst performing one. And half the people are like, how the hell do I get into your worst performing portfolio? Here's year to date, audited through end of July, whatever it is. So there's the Urgent Alert weekly options, about an 85% return, up about $64,000. Here's AR. This is in second place this year. $50,000 if you allow me to round up, about a 63%. And then the PLTB is pulling up the rear, so to speak, with about a 35% return on risk. Okay? Thank you. You bet, guys. Absolutely. I didn't cover this last night, and we're about to start trading and do all our stuff. I didn't cover this slide, and that's my fault. I've got to tell you, this is why I led with, how many of you want to win X percent of the time? There are losing trades, folks. If this isn't blindingly obvious, I have to say this. We're going to lose some battles. I mean, 4 weeks ago, I couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with weekly options. You know what I did? I took myself and sat on the bench and I watched. When the market ain't doing what you think it should be doing, you take a break, and sometimes the best trade is no trade at all. But guys, losing trades happen. Let's clear this up here, man. I get on some pretty good streaks, and then out of the blue, we'll take one right in the gut, and members start complaining. I'm like, I actually boot members sometimes, because if you don't understand that losing trades happen, you're in the wrong place, man. And I didn't think the world of this guy, but let me channel my inner Rumsfeld. He had a great quote. He said, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to war, and you know that I believe trading is combat, there are known knowns. There are things we know we know. There are known unknowns. There are things we know that we don't know. Earnings. Okay, we know earnings are coming up. We don't know how they're going to do, for example. That would be a known unknown. And then he had the best part of this quote is this. He said, then there are unknown unknowns. There are things we don't know that we don't know. And let me give you a perfect example. I hate this example, but it's perfect. Everybody remember, I remember it because it was a $5,000 hit to my portfolio. I'll never call it Alphabet. Everybody remember Google like 2 years ago? I remember this, man. I'm sitting here. We put on a great week. We put on an iron condor, a weekly iron condor on Google. I head to the gym at like 4:10. I'm on the treadmill and I'm watching Comedy Central, which you guys know I call CNBC. And what happens? Google has announced it's changing its name to Alphabet, and the stock is up, 5% after hours trading. I'm like, my immediate response was to do what? Laugh. Okay, Wiz, why you laughing? You lost $5,000. Because there's no way in hell I could have known that. And if I did and I traded against it, I should be in jail. It's called insider trading. So, ladies and gentlemen, know that that's exactly right, Fish. Sometimes there's a bogey that the AWACS, your radar, nobody sees, that's going to reach out and touch you. Those things happen. If you and if you're looking for a service that's going to blow smoke up your ass and say you're somewhere, sorry about that, that ain't me. Okay, I'm going to hit you with blinding truth here. I needed to cover that since we didn't cover that last night. Okay. All right, we got to get airborne, folks. Quick review of the methodology. What I'm going to do right now is give you a strategic brief, what's going on around in the world, because I'm going to break you from being this average retail trader of being very, very tactical. Waking up, drinking your coffee and your bunny slippers, and seeing what Comedy Central has to say this morning. That ain't us. I'm going to give you a strategic brief about what's going on around the world. North Korea, oil, Iran, what's going on in Brazil, all these things. And then we're going to get operational. What's going on with the Fed and Janet and unwinding? How's inflation looking? How are earnings looking? All that stuff. And then we're going to get tactical and trade. We can't just jump into this webinar this morning and go, okay, here's Facebook, SPX, and our Apple trades. Not going to be me. I'm going to get to those, but we have to build what we call SA, situational awareness, right? Because trading is a form of combat. Ladies and gentlemen, I covered this acronym last night. You're going to have to watch the replay. Now let's get trading. Where's the replay? First of all, since everybody is asking, right here. There's the replay. So head to go.topgunoptions.com/FT replay. So for all of you who couldn't attend last night, make sure you watch this replay, obviously, after this webinar, because we have a lot of work to cover this morning, a lot of trades. That is the replay. The replay for me talking right now will be on this page. Everything from this week. By the time we get to Friday, there'll be about, 6, 7, 8 replays on this page. This is Replay Central right there. Anything else I need to cover? I'm pretty sure everybody in this webinar is already automatically on this distribution list, but this is my daily sit rep, situation report. It's my daily, 10 to 15 minute video about what's going on in the market. You should, all you need is your name and your email. It's free. It's my daily free content. Okay. Yeah, David, I'm seeing that in the market. He's hammering North Korea, and they're sitting right there. Good. Love it. Good. That's going to impact the market, guys. You see this pullback right here? This was the fire and fury comment. Another one of these pullbacks with another missile launch here. We'll talk about North Korea in a couple minutes, but this is good. I love it. All right, guys. Anything else that I need to cover? Oh, finally, I covered this last night. StockTwits. Don't get paid by him. I know the dude who started it. Good guy. But this is Twitter for. There's a lot of good intel on this page right here. Go to StockTwits and make sure you're following me. This is also my Twitter handle as well, because there is a lot of great content on StockTwits. Good. Well, he better, folks. I mean, he's the one that said it was a Pulp Fiction line. I will rain down upon you with great vengeance and furious anger. Um, he's actually getting more orange too. S&P's flat. All right, guys, we got how long did that take? Perfect, 20 minutes. It usually takes 30. We're ahead of schedule. Here we go. Any other by the ways? Anything we need to cover before I get airborne in our? I'm going to treat this like a normal primary live trade brief, folks. You're in here with a couple hundred of my regular members, and the other 6,000 of you that registered, or you're watching me in the replay. So welcome to a regular primary live trade brief. I had to get that normal 20 minutes out of the way of half marketing crap so we could clear the decks. Okay, here we go, guys. Strategic brief. You're watching it, or it's on right now. This is going to end. It's bad. We have a nuclear armed country who's shooting bottle rockets over allies, Japan. I have a problem with Trump, and I have a problem with Prime Minister Abe not shooting one of these things down. If I were, I have buddies who are forward based in Yokosuka. We have an aircraft carrier that's forward deployed. What the hell is going on? Yeah, that's what I say. He will utterly destroy North Korea. He's right. But folks, any sort of shot fired over in, and I can't believe with these comments, the VIX is down 2%. We're going to get long vol here, folks, tomorrow, and it's going to be like shooting fish in a barrel. How is this going to end? There are 10,000 artillery pieces pointed at Seoul, South Korea. In the blink of an eye, 4 million people would be gone. Craig, I don't disagree. Allegedly, we have these lasers that can shoot down missiles. We have Aegis cruisers and destroyers that should be able to shoot down these missiles. We haven't yet. I don't know what this guy's waiting for to demonstrate that we can take down these missiles. Remember, folks, that technology is shooting a bullet at a bullet. It's pretty damn, and of course, all the missile tests that we've seen, successful. Not that I'm going to sit here and tell you that our government would lie to us, kind of like Barack Obama saying, we didn't wiretap Trump. He's a liar. I'm still waiting for CNN and everybody, all the liberal media to apologize that it came out yesterday that Paul Manafort, his campaign manager or whatever, was wiretapped. And he was wiretapped in Trump Towers, which means Trump was. Anybody see any apologies from any of the liberals today? The former president of the United States used the National Security Agency and the IRS to target their political opponents. Don't even get me started on how the end of our republic is near. Okay, and he better be slapping Iran, because Iran is watching what happens to North Korea. They're going to get nuclear weapons, folks, and they have sworn to wipe Israel off the face of the earth once they get them. Barack Hussein Obama flew unmarked airplanes full of pallets of euros. I'm down here, and we just got ravaged by Irma, folks. Houston got hit by Harvey. Do you think our country could have used that $150 billion that we gave to Iran? Do you think the mullahs in Iran needed $150 billion to kill us more? Or do you think maybe our hurricane victims could have used that money? Don't get me started. So, ladies and gentlemen, as part of our strategic brief, we have got to hedge against what's going to happen in North Korea. All of my members know I've been predicting October. For some reasons I can tell you, and some reasons I simply, with an outdated top secret clearance, I'm not going to tell you. October is when something is going to happen, in my opinion. Tomorrow we're going to talk about getting a hedge on, a volatility hedge, because we look at the left side of this chart. I understand that looking at the left side of the chart is like driving around the Daytona 500 looking in your rearview mirror, but we have been right with all of these, from the Comey pullback to the Fire and Fury to Steve Mnuchin and Gary Cohn might leave the White House because Trump's a racist Nazi. Remember that pullback? That was stupid. So tomorrow, folks, we're going to get long vol, but I just needed to brief that. The VIX down here at, what are we at, guys? 9? The VIX at 9 is stupid cheap. We'll talk about this in a little bit when we get operational. But look, so the president of the United States is at the UN poking North Korea in the chest and Iran and talking about war, and the VIX is going down? Seriously, write this down. When vol is cheap, you buy it. When it's expensive, you sell it. When's vol expensive, Wiz? Upper teens. When's vol cheap, Wiz? Now. You have got to get long VIX October calls, period. And October SPY or SPX puts. This is ridiculous that this is going on, folks. We really are in bizarro market. Pre-financial tsunami, if I was sitting in the board of trade right now, 2008-ish, and this stuff was going on around the world, the VIX should be at around a 40. So it's not a matter of if, but when this thing is going to come to life, man. We'll talk about this more tomorrow, guys, because I want to talk about Apple and Facebook. But if you look out to October, let's just take a look at the open interest. Holy, look at this, guys. Look at the 20 strike. 455,000. Look at the open interest. Volume's off. Ignore volume. Look at this. There is a lot of money out there saying not only is the VIX going to double, it is going to maybe even quadruple or triple. This is ridiculous. So this is part of my strategic brief, guys. You got if you're not getting long vol, it's ridiculous. Look at this headline. The bulls have become completely desensitized to risk. Risk has left the building, guys. Stupid. This is yesterday. Stocks panic bid at cash open as the VIX is crushed to a 9 handle. 9 handle, guys. Time to expose countries that support terror. Duh. Yeah, VIX goes down. So we're essentially flat, guys, because everybody is listening to the president right now. But we're getting ready for the Fed. We have to talk about this operationally, guys. Before I talk about the Fed, this tax cut, it's part of this rally, this Trump rally, which I predicted is a hope and change rally. The market's going up hoping that he'd repeal Obamacare, or the Senate would. Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan, biggest idiots in the world, man. Folks, just let's clear this up. If you're sitting there like, oh God, a dyed-in-the-wool Trump supporter. Trump lost me 2.5 months ago when he said, that Jim guy's a smart cookie, and I'd be honored to meet with him. Done. I'm no Republican, folks. I'm a libertarian. If you don't know what it is, look it up. So the Republicans, what was it, under Obama, voted 63 times to repeal Obamacare. Failed twice under a Republican. They're cowards. Can't stand the Republicans either, guys. So don't tar and feather me as a Republican. I'm a recovering Republican. I'll leave it at that. So this hope and change rally, the market's drifting higher on hoping that we get tax reform passed, hoping that Steve Mnuchin can really gut Frank and Dodd, and he's done a good job of doing that. Very, very bullish for the financials. We have JP Morgan positions. We have Morgan Stanley. Can't stand Goldman Sachs. Sell that thing. So here's operationally, folks, let's move in our operational brief. The Fed. A decade of QE 1, 2, 3, Operation, what was it, Twist? QE 4, the taper. Look at this, guys. I love the journal here. We're entering uncharted territory. Now, as a future TGO member sitting here, man, we got a lot of people in here. Very happy that you're all here. When you read these words in the Wall Street Journal, the paper of record for Wall Street, when you see it say something like entering uncharted territory, what should immediately pop up in your mind as a potential trade? You guys tell me, because I need a sip of coffee. You nailed it, Mark. Steve, volatility. Well, yeah, and bonds. I get that, guys. But here's what I'm getting at. Whenever you see the paper of record, whenever I got on the train in Napertucky, in Naperville, Illinois, 32-minute ride into Union Station and walked to the Board of Trade, everybody was either buried in Barron's or the Wall Street Journal. When you see the words, the Fed's entering into uncharted territory, it is a layup for code word to get long volatility. You got it, guys. Good. A lot of people, a lot of vertical head nods. Literally, folks, We have how big's their balance sheet? Ben Bernanke pulled up his town car and just started printing dollars, man. Must be nice. Wish we could run our house like that, right? We are entering uncharted territory. This is why the market's kind of wallowing around here, is because we need to see what Janet says tomorrow about unwinding this balance sheet. That cash has to go somewhere, folks. So we gotta, hopefully I scared the hell out of you with North Korea. Something bad's gonna happen, period. I'm predicting that right now. All something has to do is go bump in the night. Some private in the North Korean army accidentally fires an artillery piece and it's all over with. Now we have operationally here, I'm talking about the Fed, literally using these words, uncharted territory. I don't think it's going to be a massive hit to the market or anything like that, but we have to hedge and pretend that it is. Big press conference tomorrow. What else is going on? Oops, I already have that one up there. We'll talk. I want to get a trade on Facebook. These are the new Death Stars, folks. I know that they have. It looks like Europe's is starting to maybe go after them for privacy reasons, and I mean, maybe here in the United States we might even have antitrust issues. I think Mark Zuckerberg is a limousine liberal. All these people, don't build the wall. The guy's wanted to build the biggest wall around his private island in Hawaii. I love limousine liberals. Do as I say, not as I do, right? Gotta love Facebook, though. I want to look at a trade here in a couple minutes. Also, Apple. I'm an Android or whatever this is. Yeah, Samsung Android guy. So this, we have Apple Jan 19 positions on. A lot of our members are up triple digits with our Apple positions. I'd rather do a Jan 19 Facebook and then a front month Apple trade here. That's what we're going to end up doing today. But they came out with their new iPhone, a grand. I'm also an anti-Tim Cook fan. He's not Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs, innovator. Steve Jobs was the guy that would come in, yell at everybody, turn around to the whiteboard, and then, come up with something cool, look at a Tim Cook and say, go make it happen. He's gone, man. Tim Cook is a limousine liberal who, remember when the FBI said, hey, can you unlock this terrorist iPhone? I think he was the guy that shot up San Bernardino, and they said, no, privacy concerns. And then that jerk turns around and does what with China? China says, hey, if you want to sell this iPhone in our country, you need to put all this spy software in it and not allow them access to these things. You got it. Can't stand hypocrites like that. But again, we talked last night about the two suits I wear at Top Gun Options, a flight suit, and I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel as an American and patriotically, and then I'm going to tell you how I feel as Gordon Gekko. As Gordon Gekko, great. I think Tim Cook's a genius to succumb to the Chinese government's will so he can sell his phones there. As an American, I think he's a piece of shit hypocrite. Here's what's always funny in the journal, too. Apple always does this, whether it's with earnings or their newest product. They never have enough. Does anybody think that's like an accident? Okay. So, David, don't disagree. So there's never enough iPhones. There's never enough stuff. Why? Because supply and demand. So you got it, Dan. That's exactly right. So I love Apple. Don't love the politics behind it. Okay. We're almost ready to get tactical and trade. See how this works, guys? Minus the 20 minutes of stupid marketing stuff at the beginning. We get in next Tuesday when you're a member and we get rid of everybody else. We go right into this stuff, man. Good morning. Let's get strategic. We do our strategic brief. I get operational, and then we're going to get tactical. So we're moving along right at our pace here. Anything else operational I need to cover? Let me look at my notes. Nope, I think we're good. CPI came in last week a little hotter than expected. I think that might give Janet a little bit of air cover to maybe get an interest rate increase before the buzzer sounds at the end of the year. I don't know. I didn't look at the Fed. Man, what a tongue twister. The Fed funds futures rate this morning, but I think we're not above half. 50% probability of rate increase by the end of the year. I know that for a fact. Remember this. Write this wizardism down. When interest rates are low, stocks will grow. When interest rates are high, stocks will die. Okay. The only exception to that little wizism is financials. Financials love higher interest rates. We've been printing money with our JP Morgan positions. Our members are up $20, $30, $40,000 year to date on a Jan 19 JP Morgan position, and I have a Morgan Stanley on that's looking pretty good as well. Okay, take a look at this chart, guys. The 50-day moving average, every time year to date that we've imploded through it, we've had eventually, this was resistance. We called this a rip your face off rally. Now, before we get to our trading, I'm going to tell you my strategic mindset right now is cautiously bullish. Everybody should have their trade plan out. We're looking at step one here. Cautiously bullish. What the hell does that mean? Wiz, you sound like a politician. No, I'm a trader. I'm bullish. I'm holding my nose and bidding this market higher, but I'm cautious. We'll talk tomorrow. Accelerated retirement. We're going to cover SPX hedging and VIX hedging as well. Today, I'm going to do the bullish part of it with some Facebook and Apple. So cautiously bullish. Step two is what? Identify your target. I have two targets I want to cover this morning, Apple and Facebook. I want to trade a front month trade on Apple and then a Jan 19 trade. If you're new to options, check this out. And with options, you can be bullish all the way out to 2 years from now, folks. And you can be bipolar, and so can I. Meaning we could be long-term bullish on Facebook, but let's take a look at the chart real quick. But we can also be short-term neutral. Let's take a look at Facebook, chart of Facebook. Starting to level off here, guys. There was earnings. What happened? Here's how tech stocks move. Rip your face off rally, and then sideways until something happens. So Facebook is just kind of moving laterally. It looks like a great iron condor candidate right now, waiting for what? Something to happen. So we're going to hop in our time machine in a couple minutes. We're going to fly all the way out to January 2019 and get bullish. And then I'm going to show you how we're going to make money selling front month upside calls. Okay? Stephen, very good question. Wiz. And guys, no offense. Let me clear this up right now. No offense. I'm not ignoring. I know you all can't see your chat. In the GoToWebinar room with 200 people and below, you can see each other's chat. In this one, I have to use the bigger room because, like I said, we have nearly as of me going on, almost 8,000 people registered. There's questions zipping along here. One of the reasons we only do full throttle maybe 3-4 times a year. We only allow 50 in at a time because we can't have these trade rooms that have thousands of people in there. I can't. It makes my skin crawl actually to look at the chat box because I'm as an instructor, whether it was an instructor pilot or an options instructor, I will never leave a room with a question mark over anybody's head or an unanswered question. I can't. It drives me nuts. That means I failed as an instructor. But during full throttle week, as the commanding officer, I just open the doors to my squadron and you guys are getting to walk around. I can't answer every question from everybody in the crowd. But Stephen, Wiz, if you're expecting something bad to happen in October, would it be better to wait to put on a long-term trade on Facebook? No. Stephen, first of all, I want to be wrong. Remember, guys, when I put on a hedge, I hope they lose money. Well, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, it does. And if that doesn't make sense to you, you need to become a member because I'm going to teach you how it does. Folks, I never went flying over Iraq and told the chief, or before I went flying over Iraq and told the chief, hey, chief, do me a favor, pull the ejection seat out of the aircraft and add an extra 800 pounds of gas. That's exactly what I'd be doing if I don't hope, right? You know, I don't want to have to use that ejection seat, man, but it's better to have it than not. So, Stephen, I want to throw some hedges on, but here's the other thing, Stephen. Whether it was 9/11, God, 9/11, the tech implosion in 2000, the financial tsunami in 2008. Stephen, what always happens after these events? Or not just Stephen, somebody else, everybody answer. What happens after we think the world's over in U.S. markets? What has happened since the 1987 crash? Graduated from high school. Exactly. Recovery, market goes up. There you go, guys. A bull run. There you go, Thor. So, ladies and gentlemen, when I'm looking out to a Jan 19 trade, I can have these implosions or things go wrong because I have time for the trade to turn around. And remember, folks, if we have a strategic mindset all the way out to January of 2019 on Facebook, for example, um, and something happens in the front month, we're options traders, man. We can trade the hell. Facebook's getting pounded. Let's pound it into the dirt. We can make money on the front months too. So, Stephen, very good question. I want to be wrong about October. I want you guys to be members next month and go, haha, Wiz, you were wrong that something was going to happen in October. Great. That means all of my longs are doing awesome. Make sense? All right, we need to get moving here, guys, because we need to get going. Yep, there you go. BTFD, Andrew. You listened earlier. All right, let's start with the front month trade on Apple. And whoever asked, yes, the SPX trade. If you're a member, here's the member page for this. This is still a good trade. I would still. What's it currently priced at right now? Yeah, I mean, I was looking at $1.15 yesterday. It got up to $1.35. I think it's back to around $1.15 right now. I would look to put this weekly options bear call spread on. Whoever just asked that, yes. So for my members, this, and if you're going to be a member, this is what one of the member pages look like. Remember, during the live trade brief, which I'm going to show you in a couple minutes, I'll send out a text alert live in the session, and I'll take a screenshot. And then, after I get done the live trade brief, I put the screenshots into an email, and then I blast it out here. So yeah, that still looks like it's at $1.20. Jim, thank you. Yeah, that's still a good trade, guys. If you're not even if you're not a member, I still like this weekly bear call spread by Friday. Okay, good. You got filled. Awesome. All right, folks. Let me close that and let's get going here. Let's get Apple going, folks. Step 1, give you my strategic mindset. Cautiously bullish. Step 2, my target is Apple. Remember, and you have to watch the replay from last night if you didn't, commit criteria. 3 to 5 sentences of, man, this is why I'm committing capital to this trade. I challenged many of you last night to go look at your portfolio last night or this morning before this webinar and look at every one of your positions and see if you could belt out immediately, not like think about it, but immediately 3 to 5 sentences of why you committed capital to this trade. So here we go. Apple came out with its 10th anniversary iPhone lately, and the market, it was a little bit of a sell on the news event. I believe short-term Apple is going to hold its current level of support and wait for earnings and then see a rapid increase. I am short-term neutral to bullish on Apple. Boom, drop the mic. 3 to 5 sentences, guys. I don't know how many times I literally travel around the world and I give keynotes and I cocktail parties and people, hey, I'm in this trade, and I'll go immediately, why? And they kind of do the RCA dog. Yeah, I'm old enough to remember the RCA dog and what was called a record, remember, with its head tilted. Step 4, now we cover the tactic. The tactic I'm going to employ is called a bull put spread. Now, if you're new to options, one of the things that sucked when I was teaching myself to trade options before Al Gore invented the internet in the early 90s was that there'd be 3 different names for a tactic. Real quick tangent. There is no such thing. A bull put spread, folks, is not an option strategy. All right, smart guy, you lost me. Well, then you should probably leave because you're not going to want to be a member here. It's not a strategy, folks. A strategy is saving for college, short-term income generation, buying a boat, hedging. Those are strategies, high level. A bull put spread, an iron condor, buying calls. Those are tactics. So the tactic I'm going to employ is called a bull put spread. I like saying that instead of a credit or a vertical spread because it tells you what I'm doing. I'm bullish. I'm using puts. And it's a spread. Okay, so that's the tactic for Apple right now, the bull put spread. Now, what did I look? 157.5, 155. I like this level right here. Let me get my little line drawing here, guys. You can. Where's the line? You guys get. I have an affinity for Options House. I told you I helped build it. They got bought by E-Trade, and E-Trade is more or less trying to destroy something that was good. I'll leave it at that. Line. So I like this 157.5. It's been short term. So, we imploded through it. That was the ex-div date. Little bit of a dip here, rip your face off rally, and we're hovering above it here. The 157.5, there's a lot of open interest in volume at the trade I'm going to show you. I like this 157.5 line. I think we're gonna hold this at least for the next couple weeks. All right, so let me go to my options chain, and I'm going to go out to, with everything that's going on in the world, guys, I'm only, you know what, let me switch over. I like this platform a little bit better. It's a little bit more visual. This options house, it's called the Legacy platform. So I'm going to go out to a couple weeks. Why only going out a couple weeks, Wiz? I like keeping my leash a little bit tight in this market. If nothing was going on and we're whistling zippity doo dah and things are great, I'd probably go out a couple weeks. But folks, you see this where it says O in October? I think there's a hell of a lot of bad and volatility. Folks, first of all, October's historically, out of the 12 months, the most volatile month anyway. I'm going out a couple weeks on this Apple trade. That's why. We're going to hedge tomorrow. A lot of hedging tomorrow. Huge hedging tomorrow. But so I'm going to use September 29th. I'm going to take a look at the 150. These are obviously the calls are on the left, the puts are on the right. I'm going to click create spread, and I'm going to do this vertical spread. Let me just build this real quick, and then I'll do, I think I did 30 contracts. Give me a couple seconds. I want to make sure, obviously I did this before market. I want to see if it's not around the price that I wanted. That's good. Okay, here we go. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do a short-term bull put spread on Apple. I'm going to sell 30. Why 30, Wiz? Give me 2 minutes, folks. I'm going to sell 30 of the September 29th. Why September 29th? I just told you. I just want to go out a couple weeks, guys. Anything out to October is going to creep me the hell out. Can you guys hear me? Lost audio. Can you guys hear me? Yes or no? I had two people say they lost. Okay, I didn't touch anything. All right, good. So, of the September 29th, 157.5 puts. Okay? That's me saying, hey, Apple, I don't think you're going to be below 157.5 by September 29th in a couple weeks. All right, Wiz, you had me at your commit criteria. I agree with you on this trade. What if you're wrong, man? What if, I don't know, this new iPhone comes out and it's, I don't know, ISIS likes it or something. Well, that's going to suck, but I'm going to buy 30 of the September 29, 155 puts. So take a look over here at this little drawing, right? The blue line is Apple. This is why I don't know why people trade stocks. They can make money three ways, right? Just like we can in this trade. Buy, hope, and pray. They buy the stock, hope it goes up, and if it doesn't. So as an options trader, we can literally make money three ways. Apple, this blue line, can sit right where it is. We make money. Apple can go up, which we'd love it to do. We make money. Ladies and gentlemen, Apple can even go down, and we make money on this trade. Isn't that incredible? Three ways we make money on a bull put spread. So here it is right now. And I'm going to click my little snipping tool. So you guys are literally sitting in a primary live trade brief. This is what I do. I grab a screenshot because I'm going to put this in my replay email. Save as Apple with today's date, 9/19. Okay, so I take a screenshot of that real quick because you're going to get it. Now I'm going to click create order. Folks, if you come right in at the ask or the bid, you really, really love something or you really, really hate it and want to get out. Don't ever do it. So what I do here when I send out my trades to my members is I go mid-market. So right now, this bull put spread is pricing at about 62 cents. In the text alert I'm about to send out, because if you can't make it to one of my live trade briefs, don't worry about it. Watch the replay whenever you want, but you're going to be sitting in, if you're at work, you're going to be sitting in death by meeting, and in a couple minutes here, you're going to get a text alert. Oh, okay, here's what Wiz is doing. So I usually say, you know what? It's 64 cents. I'd go plus or minus 4 cents. What does that mean? I'd take all the way up to a 68-cent credit or all the way down to about a 60-cent credit. That's my window. If by the time you get that trade and you look at it and it's outside that range, it's a little too rich or cheap for my blood. All right. Now, this is very, very, very important. Look at people are already getting filled. My members are already reporting their fills. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're a potential new TGO member, listen to me very carefully. Look at me or watch the screen. When I click this analyze button, it's going to be a disturbing visual, okay? I'm going to turn into a Catholic nun. I'm going to grab my ruler. I'm going to tell you to look at one place and one place only. And if you don't, I'm going to crack your knuckles, okay? When I click this analyze button, the only place you're going to look at is the sad face. You ready? 3, 2, 1, sad face. Right here, max potential loss. Why'd you do that, Wiz? Folks, don't ever look at this happy face first. If you're not okay with potentially losing that, why the hell would you even care what this is? That is the sign of a horrible retail trader. Options traders, fighter pilots, doctors, attorneys, we look at our worst possible case scenario first. And if you ain't good with it, don't do it or change it. Now, I'm going to teach you when you become a member here that we have what we call SOPs, standard operating procedures, just like in a fighter squadron, folks. Based on a $100,000 model portfolio, I don't want to risk more than 5% of the model portfolio on any one trade. Where'd you get that, Wiz? I got it from doing this for nearly a quarter of a century. That's me. You signed for your own jet, folks. Literally, you're the pilot in command of your own airplane. Okay? So this risk of $5,600, we'll round up, is based on what? 30 contracts. We have 2 billionaires here at Top Gun Options, folks. We also have people who have $10,000 portfolios. I don't know. Folks, I can't give you personal investment advice. You're getting to eavesdrop over my shoulder. You're getting to see what I do. I can't give you any of that advice. You have to. That's why this is impersonal. I'm in the Village Square right now, talking to literally thousands of people. So that risk of $5,600, it's a little north of my $5,000. But guess what? I'm the portfolio manager. I'm the pilot in command of this aircraft, and I'm okay with that being a little above my SOP. That's based on 30 contracts. So, you know, Wiz, you're smoking crack. I don't want to lose more than $2,500. All right, Einstein, you ready for the math? Then that's 15 contracts. I showed you in last night how when I did one of my Goldman Sachs trades, I only did 5 contracts. We had a couple members who did 20, and the one guy, Mike, made $150,000 on his Goldman Sachs long call diagonal. That was around the election, guys. Epic, historic trading. What the hell is going on with our sound here, guys? Let me make sure we're all plugged in here. Yeah, that's not me, folks. That's GoToWebinar is having some lovely issues. So yeah, folks. So contract sizing is actually. Let me grab a screenshot of this too, because I'm going to send this out in the replay. Yeah, the GoToWebinar. I mean, it's. I don't know if they did some sort of. I love when they call it a fix or a patch, because last night it recorded an hour of nothingness before I even got started last night. So something, Jim's saying, a couple Jims are saying the sound has been fine all along. So it might be on your end, guys. All right, so here we go. Let me take a look at this. 157, 64 cents plus or minus, I'm going to say the 4 cents there, right? Let me go back here for compliance reasons and do my contract here. So, okay, good. I'm seeing you guys are seeing a lot of fills here. Let me grab this. So I'm going to click copy. I'm going to fire that one down range. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come over to what is called our broadcaster. So again, folks, I know, Wiz, hey, a lot of us work for a living. Well, congrats. you're going to be sitting in death by meeting, and you're going to get this. So even if you can't attend the live trading sessions, folks, you're going to get it live just like everybody else is. You ready? PLTB, that's what we're in right now. That's the portfolio, the primary live trade brief. You ready? New Apple bull put spread, 15 contracts, September 29 expiry. I'm going to buy the 155 puts. I'm going to sell the 157.5 puts at a 63-cent. It's a credit, folks. Remember, this is a credit spread. We're bringing in money to do this. What I say, plus or minus about 4 cents. Now, I don't have a ton of time to get into this right now, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm going to throw two terms out at you. If this trade, remember, this is called a brief. We want to potentially go through anything that could go wrong right now and what we're going to do before it even happens. Watch this. If this trade starts going against me, remember, guys, and I'll bring the trade back up again. With a credit spread, I'm the car dealer right now. I'm the dealership. I want to keep all 63 cents. Remember, as soon as you peel out of the parking lot with your brand new car, what hits that car? Hopefully not another car. Depreciation, time decay. As a seller of options, we love time decay. It's called theta. You know what? Let me get the text out and we'll go back. But if this trade starts going, that 63-cent credit starts going up to 70, 90, $1, that ain't good. So around, I don't know, $1.05, I'd look to maybe adjust the trade. That's when I scratch my chin and I go, why is Apple going down and why is this trade going against me? Should I potentially adjust the trade? There's another level in a trade that we cover in the brief, the eject level. The holy crap, I'm on fire, there's smoke in the cockpit, and my wingman's screaming at me to eject. I'd look to this is my rule of thumb, folks. I double the credit that I take in as my rule of thumb. What's that, $1.26? I'd look to eject if this trade went up to about $1.26. Does that make sense? I'll cover this in a second here. Kelly, I don't know. Yeah, everybody's saying it sounds clear as a bell. Fish, thanks. I appreciate that. I don't know, guys. Well, I'm already have our support on the horn with GoToWebinar about the auto. As soon as I press start on this damn webinar. So you ready for this? All my members. As soon as I press send, let me open my thing here. Oops, 1 second. There you go. I got my text. Now, if you gave us your cell phone number, this is always funny. I love when people complain right now. Watch this. On this page, everybody, I don't know who that guy is. When you gave us your name and your email and your name, if you gave us your cell phone number, you're going to get a text alert right now. If you didn't, I can't go in there and add it for you. So for all the folks who wanted to see, look, all my members, I just got mine. Look, guys. Can you see that? Within 2 seconds, I got my text alert. So if you are a non-member, when you signed up, look at this. I'm going to send this to you and demonstrate the power of this fully operational Death Star. Look at this. Full throttle launch registration. So folks, you get a free text from me, and it ain't cheap. So for all my potential new members, let me know that you got it. And again, please don't type in the chat box, hey, here's my number. It's too late. You already registered for the week. When you become a member, you'll get these, okay? And then let me do this real quick because there are this comes from a 5-digit service, folks. So some of my Canadian friends up to the north have to battle their telecom companies to, so there's 20 people who are having new PLTB, Apple, bull. So I send them an email, and the email also hits in 2 seconds. So this is to I call them my SMS problem children. It's just Canadians, guys. For whatever reason, some of the Canadian telecom companies think it's coming from a spam number, so they actually have to. Good. All right, a lot of folks who are potentially new members said they already got the text. So there you go. Let me go back to the trade real quick, guys, because I have to cover two things. Let me do this right now. Let me click Analyze here. Let me just click Copy, Analyze. All right. So look at the. Everybody put their eyes down here. Actually, let me. Let me just do this again, because I want to show you the effects of theta, because some of you are new to options, and I want to show you this. 30, 30. Create order. We'll go mid-market. I want you to write this down. There's a wizism. Here's another wizism. So you see this right here? And I'm filled. There you go. You see this right here, guys? It says theta. That's time decay. Okay? Watch. Keep your eyes down here as I go forward in my time machine. Look at that. Every day that goes by, that let's just say Apple doesn't move. I showed you the chart. It looks like we're kind of, let me pull up my chart here. It looks like we're just kind of riding sideways in Apple. Write this wizism down. You ready? Unched, UNCHD. It's short for unchanged. Unched on the day equals time decay. You bet, Mary. I'll say that again. Unched on the day equals time decay. Meaning, folks, if Apple for the next week and a half to 2 weeks, just kind of hangs out, you make money. This is why you should never trade another stock in your life. Your buddy at a cocktail party, I bought some Apple. Not making any money. It's just sitting here. You can sit there and do what? I'm actually making money on Apple right now with it going sideways. You're a witch. Get out of the party. No, I'm not. I put on a bull put spread. Unched on the day equals time decay. Everybody saw that, right? Theta down here, time decay. Don't worry about it, folks. If you're new to options, you're going to get 8 full throttle training sessions. We're going to train you all of this stuff. I'm going a little fast, like I told you last night. If it doesn't feel like you're drinking from the end of a fire hose during full throttle week, we're failing. Okay? I'm moving a little quick and all that stuff. Know that you're going to get 8 full. I think they're about 2 hours long. Doug teaches it. Doug Robertson, who you'll meet tomorrow night. You get 8 training sessions where he's going to go over the Greeks and all this stuff until your eyes glaze over. But remember, folks, unched on the day equals time decay. So for any parting shots on Apple, we make money. This blue line, Apple, it can go up. It can sit where it is. It can even go down. And look at the percentages, guys. Look at this. I didn't even cover this. There's a 70, if you'll allow me to round up, there's a 70% probability. Thank you, Chrissy. I was just getting to that. There's a 70% probability using current at the money volatility of making $1,900 in 2 weeks. Let me do a little foreshadowing. I'll talk like a Hollywood person. The foreshadowing is that would pay, with one trade, you would pay for an annual subscription here at TGL with this one Apple trade. And awesome, look at this. The market's turning around here, guys. How's that bear call spread looking? I have to do this as an options trader, folks. That means there's a 12% probability of us getting our ass kicked and losing everything. But we're hopefully not going to let that happen because we have the adjust and the eject levels in our trades. And again, guys, you're going to get hours of lectures on this stuff. I can't stop during this to really, really, really get into it, okay? David, good question. So what happens if Tim Cook turns out to be a North Korean agent and the stock drops 40 points in 30 seconds? What do? You should have your eject level in with a broker. What did I say, $1.26? Put that eject level. First of all, I can't tell you what to do. Here's what I would do. You have that eject level in there. Okay? Judith, we'll be in a live trade brief talking about all that stuff live. Really good questions, guys. Let me either save these to the end or because I want to talk Facebook. Any other Apple questions here? This is a good bull put spread. I'm filled on it. Love it. Good looking trade here, guys. Again, I don't like leaving any hanging chads or any unanswered questions, guys. In a regular, this time next Tuesday, after you become a member, this will be a walk in the park. I'll talk hour about this stuff, okay? Yes, Paul. Exactly. Okay. Let's move on here, guys, because I want to talk about my other buddy here, Facebook. Um, let me take a look. What's the SPX looking at? Let's just go with that guy real quick. I want to look at the. Yeah, so it's a good trade. Yeah. All right. Look at some of my members already closing out the SPX weekly options trade from yesterday. Again, guys, potential new members didn't get this. We do weekly. Actually, I had to host a timing research show yesterday. Um, oops, that's obviously not the expiration. We're looking at Friday here. Let me just, for my weekly options members that are in here, let's just cover this trade. The market, I saw the S&P was down 3 a little while ago. This thing should be looking pretty good, $600, $700 profit. If you want to get out of it, stop with the going to the wrong expiration. The hell's your problem here, man? It's at $1 right now, guys. If you like making, let me just do the math for you. If you got filled at 35 cents yesterday, you're up $525. That's a nice romantic dinner there, guys. So, Tamara's up 16% in a day. Well, Judith, yeah, if you got the $1.15, yeah, you're only up 8%. Remember, 8% in a day, Judith, is pretty damn good if you annualize that. Fish is staying in. All right, guys, we got to move. Now, new trade. Facebook. Hey, if you're a potential new member, everybody got their the text, right? Look, I got both texts because I'm not only the Hair Club for Men member, I'm the president, right? So I also opted in so I can see all the emails that you guys get. I got both text alerts, so I know that the everything's good to go. Isn't that a cool system? Tim made the trade 20 minutes ago, up $200. Awesome, Tim. All right, guys, let's go with Facebook. Completely different trade here. Write this one down. So what we just covered was called a bull put spread. This is going to be a long call diagonal with something that we call a protective put. 1107. Great. We're right on timeline here. Strategic mindset. What am I, guys? I am cautiously bullish overall on the market. Our target, step 2 right now, is Facebook. VIX is creeping up a little bit. Commit criteria. I am long-term bullish on Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg, can't stand the dude, has finally monetized the online, the ad, both mobile and on desktop. How do I know? Some of you are leads from Facebook, our Facebook ads. Those little, if you saw the little Facebook ad for Top Gun Options and you got on our list, I know it works. I'm a Hair Club for Men member, right? And I'm also the president. Remember those commercials? Now I'm rambling in my commit criteria. I apologize. So, Facebook, long-term bullish on Facebook. He's figured it out, guys. Years ago, couldn't stand it. I'm like, he needs to prove that he can monetize those eyeballs. He did it. The one thing he hasn't monetized yet, which is going to be a potential just mining for him, is this: Instagram. So Instagram, folks, is another property he hasn't even really mined yet. So long-term bullish on Facebook, but I am short-term neutral. Look at this. It looks like we're kind of level. What's this look like, guys? It looks like the Apple chart, doesn't it? Now, this tactic I'm going to teach you right now, a long call diagonal with protective put, you can do this exact same procedure for any stock or ETF that you are long-term bullish on, and short-term anything. So watch this. This is pretty cool. Pay attention, watch the recording, whatever, guys. I'm going to move kind of quick through this tactic, but again, once you become a member, and we're in our primary live trade brief this time next Tuesday, it'll be throttled back and nice and gentlemanly or womanly. So here we go. How do we do a long call diagonal with a protective put? The first thing I'm going to do, I got Facebook up right here, is I'm going to fly. You ready? Everybody strap in. I just jumped in my time machine and I flew all the way out to January of 2019. Why? Because I want as much time for this trade to work as humanly possible. That's as far out in time as we can be long-term bullish on Facebook. I'm going to collapse the right side of the screen, which are the puts. Why? I don't need them right now. What I'm going to do is scroll down to Jan 19. Where are we? Right there. And I want to find the calls closest to a zero.8 delta. The reason I closed the puts is I wanted to expose a column here, one of the Greeks called delta. So the 0.8, you see this right here? Let me give you a 30-second definition on delta. I don't want your eyes to glaze over. Oh my God, Greeks. A delta, let's assume, I don't want to open up all the strikes. The screen will be huge. Let's just, if you'll excuse me, the 100 strike right here. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Let's just pretend that this 100 strike, this column right here says 1.0. Okay, a delta of 1.0. Here's what delta means in this case. First of all, these options are way, way deep, in the money. They got a lot of meat on the bones, Wiz. Hell, Facebook said $171. The one delta options have a hell of a lot of extrinsic and intrinsic value. So a delta of 1.0 means if this thing goes up $1 today, these prices go up $1. A 1 delta means it has a 1-for-1 move. Facebook goes up $10 today, these prices go up $10 today. But like I said, folks, holy crap, Wiz, those are some expensive options. Now, a 0.5 delta option is what? You see all this light gray? That means deep, that's in the money. These calls are out of the money. Again, this is all training you're going to get when you sign up. I'm going a little fast. But look at this. Wiz, these 0.5 delta options are $17. Those other ones were what were they, $70, $75? A 0.5 delta has what? Half as much of a move. Kind of makes sense a little bit. Wiz, Uncle Wiz here, my rule of thumb is to find, I split the difference between the two, folks. I find the calls that have a 0.8 delta. They're not as cheap as 0.5. They're certainly not as hell as it's right down the fairway, guys. Trust me, I've been doing this for a quarter of a century. You want to find the 0.8 delta calls, and I did. They're the Jan 19 135s. Okay, so I'm going to click Create Spread right there, and Options House is pretty cool, or whatever the hell it's called now. E-Trade, I can click on the tactic called Diagonal. So let's build this trade together. Buy the Jan 19. Let's just stick. What were they? The 135s. The 135 calls. Now, look at this right here. Everybody remember this: $46.37. You could just do this. Wiz, you had me at your commit criteria. I also think Facebook, is going to go through the roof by Jan 19. It's on a good climb schedule. Ladies and gentlemen, this is stupid. Being a straight buyer of calls is nothing but a lottery ticket. And being a straight buyer of calls, what Greek is kicking you in the gut every day that goes by? If I buy these calls and I just put them down here in my filing cabinet and I look at them in a year and a half, what happened to these calls? Now, if Facebook went up, obviously, they made a little bit of money, but guess what, folks? Exactly, theta. You got it, folks. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do what is called, I'm going to sell some front month. What's the front month, Wiz? You're sitting in it, folks. The front month is now, September, October, November. I'm going to sell some what is called upside calls to bring in a little scratch. Ladies and gentlemen, sitting down here in South Florida, me buying these deep in the money 80 delta calls is like going to the Ferrari dealer, right? Well, there's a lot of people down here who would rather have a sugar mama or a sugar daddy do what? Make a monthly payment, right? So check this out. Facebook, look at this. It looks like this 172.5-ish, maybe 175, has been short-term resistance. So I could sell some upside calls here and bring in a little scratch, Wiz. Yeah, you could. You could do the December one, guys. Just stick with me here. I'm going to sell, what did I say, the 175s? Look at this. I've already reduced our cost basis. I'm going to sell the September. You know what? That's Friday. I'm going to go out the next Friday and get even a little bit more premium. Let me do that. So ladies and gentlemen, look at what Uncle Wiz just did. What did I say? a couple of minutes ago. Remember this? It was like $46.37. Look at what I just did. Right in front of you, I reduced our cost basis by over $1 or whatever it was. I don't know, 90 cents. Isn't this cool? We're going to do this every week, every couple weeks, whatever time frame we want to choose. We're going to sell some front month upside calls and bring in some scratch. We're going to reduce our cost basis. So on your screen right now, ladies and gentlemen, is a tactic where you can be long-term bullish on something and short-term bearish, neutral, or even bullish. Isn't this cool? I thank you for the a lot of people in the chat box, guy. Wait do you go to Accelerated Retirement tomorrow and see the volatility trade I'm going to teach you. This is called a long call diagonal. Now I'm missing something on this trade right now, and I'm going to get to it in a second. But what is the risk? Here he comes, Hornet pilot and options trader. Yeah, I'm going to poke you in the face with risk all the time until you learn to accept it. The underlying risk in this trade is what? Facebook going to zero. Could it happen? Sure it could. Will it? No. I mean, Facebook's what? The world's 4th largest country. So check this out, folks. When I click on create order, first of all, guys, this is a debit spread. We got to come out of pocket for this, obviously. We're buying some deep in the money 80 delta calls. They're talking about Facebook right now on Comedy Central. There's no way on God's green earth I'm going to get filled at mid-market like I did on the Apple bull put spread. It ain't happening. So what I'm going to do, this is called the whiz walk it on up method. I don't even want to click on this, but I will, but my hand's shaking. If you come in at the ask right now on this trade, there's a red light on every market maker's computer that says idiot. And it starts flashing. If you come in at the ask, it will be like piranha. You'll get filled immediately, and you'll be down about $300 on this trade. Okay? Let me just put, 10 contracts in here as a placeholder. I got to get away from the ask. It's creeping me out. Don't ever come, if you really, really, really want to get filled, coming at the ask. Don't. I call this, I hate Starbucks now. It's a liberal company that is anti-veteran, but I used to call this my Starbucks rule of thumb. What do I mean? I go somewhere between the mid and the ask. Where? I don't know. I just went here. And then I'll hang this over the side of the boat. I'll take a break after our primary live trade brief. Go to Starbucks. Hang out for 20 minutes, annoying people, talk to them. And then I'm going to come back. You know what? I didn't get filled on this yet. I walk it on up a couple pennies. Why do I do this? So, ladies and gentlemen, I can't stand Warren Buffett either, another limousine liberal, but he's got a great quote when it comes to taxes, and I'm going to apply this to my trade. Warren Buffett says, if you pay 1 penny less in federal taxes, you're a felon. If you pay 1 penny more, you're an idiot. That's the rule of thumb I apply to my long call diagonals here, guys. I want to get filled right where some market maker scratches his or her chin and goes, all right, that's kind of right where it should be. If I get filled immediately on this, I'm going to be pissed a little bit. So this is called the walk it on up method, okay? So watch this. Now let me click analyze, and again, turn into the Catholic nun, Sister Mary Matthew with a ruler. You are only going to look at one place and one place only. You ready? 3, 2, 1, sad face. Holy crap, Wiz. You said you didn't want to risk more than $5,000 on any one trade in your model portfolio. That's $46,000 in risk. Are you stupid? Not really, because I'm going to fix this. I just wanted to demonstrate to you. I called this tactic a what? A long call diagonal with a protective put. What are we missing here, guys? I presaged what I was going to say. I don't think that's the right word, but you know what I'm getting at. The risk in this trade is Facebook going to zero. Well, Wiz, you said it could, but there's no way in hell it's going to. Yeah. But Facebook, Options House, guys, the risk management department at Thinkorswim, TD, they're the same thing, TradeStation, independent brokers. No risk department is going to allow you to pick up the phone and call them and go, hey, guys, it's me. It's Wiz. You guys know Facebook ain't going to zero. Do me a favor and don't margin me as if, it is, because it's not. That's not how brokerages work, folks. Trust me, I built one. What can we do to show the options house risk department that, first of all, this is based on 10 contracts. Obviously, we could lower our number of contracts. What could we do to show the options house risk management smart people that Facebook, even if it does go to zero, we're safe, we're protected? As soon as I said the word protected, what should everybody, the light bulb have gone off in your, exactly. We can buy a put. We can buy a protect, because look at this. Right now we're flying straight downhill and we're going to fly in the side of a mountain. Why don't we buy a put underneath this thing? Watch this. So let's go back to our trade. And so 46 grand in risk, Wiz. Oh my God. Add a put. Let's go. Let's hop in that same time machine. It's refueled, and let's go out to Jan 19. I didn't know they had December 19th. That was news to me. Where do I place the protective put? You're going to have to write this down and think about it, because I got to get moving for the sake of time, guys. What would be a disaster to me? Most people say, well, if a bear market, right? If Facebook went down 20%, that would suck. So my rule of thumb, folks, is I usually place the disaster put 20% below the current stock price. Write this down, guys, or watch the replay. Okay? So, what's that? 17, 34. Let's round up and say 35. Let's just, what was that? 172 minus $35 equals, though, let's see if we can get close to a 135 put. Now look at first of all, folks, look at the drawing. Look at that. We're pulling up. We're not flying into the dirt anymore. Isn't that awesome? Create order. I'm not going to go at the ask. I'm going to do my Starbucks or go get some lunch. I'm going to go right about there. Why there, Wiz? Because that's where I'm going. Now watch when I click analyze. I think 10 contracts is still too much, but you ready? Analyze. The last trade was 46 grand in risk. Let's see what type of sorcery Wiz can do now. 16 grand. I went down 30,000, whatever, 30 grand in risk just by doing this disaster put. Now, obviously, guys, this is still too rich for me. I'm probably going to do, I don't know. I don't like numbers like 4. I'm going to 5. This is an example, folks, the Goldman Sachs long call diagonal I did before the election. I did 5 contracts. Mike, Diane, a couple other folks did 20, 150 grand. So again, let's just do 5. I'm going to do 5. I might do 1. That's a little north of my 5 grand, but I am very willing to break my SOP when it's a Jan 19 trade, because I know this thing has a lot of room to recover. Okay, so I like this trade. This is Facebook, and this we actually have I had 3 or 4 of these in my accelerated retirement that were up about 60 grand year to date between the 4 trades. So let me Facebook. What's today's date? 9/19. Okay. Again, now I don't have a ton of time, guys, but I'm gonna rip through my front month upside call rules of engagement. Okay, so let me do that real quick, because some of you are like, all right, Wiz, why did you sell the 175s as the upside calls? I'm gonna teach you. File, save, ask, because I also have to send this out via text. Facebook 919M. That's the metric. A lot of good questions, guys. I got to get moving, man. We have got to we got to get going here. And I'll blast this text out. Editor, hold on a second. Thank you, Roberto. Absolutely. Yeah. If you got a split, no worries. The replay. Let me go to my chart real quick here, guys, or the chart of Facebook. Please listen to me, guys. Again, this will all be taught to you when you become a member. It'll be nice and slow. But here are the rules of thumb. Raj, if you get north of 175, you buy those calls back. Raj, become a member, and I'm going to talk through all this stuff. But we're getting short on time because of all the marketing crap. So here you go, guys. Here are Wiz's rules of thumb for selling front month upside calls. You ready? So Raj, pay attention to this. If a stock or an ETF is moving sideways, write this down. I tend to sell front month upside calls that are 2.5 to 5% out of the money. Why, Wiz? Because that gives me a little bit of altitude. Okay, front month upside calls that are 2.5 to 5% out of the money. So write this down. If it's moving sideways, 2.5 to 5% out of the money. Everybody got that written down? Now, let me go to the extreme example. If a stock is on a tear, folks, that's a tear right there. Facebook got on a tear. You know what I did? You don't do anything. You don't step in front of it and try and bring in a little extra scratch. That's like running in front of a steamroller to pick up a dime. It's stupid. Write this down. If it's on a tear, do nothing. Those 0.8 delta calls, guys, they go deeper in the. Just sit back like this, put your head behind your hands behind your head, drink your coffee, and enjoy the profits, man. So I've covered two scenarios. Stocks flat, 2.5 to 5% out of the money. Stocks on a tear, enjoy. Here's the halfway. Let's just assume this is Facebook, this line down here. If it's between a tear and flat, 7.5 to 10% out of the money is where I sell those upside calls. Isn't that cool? Now, again, guys, I know you feel like you're drinking from a fire hose if you're new. This is my TGO members are like, got it. Stocks flat, sell upside calls that are 2.5 to 5% out of the money. Stocks on a tear, get out of the way. Enjoy it. Love it. You're right. Stocks on an F18 climbs. No, that's an F18 climb schedule. Let's say the stock's on a 777 out of Miami International climb schedule. It ain't on a tear, but it ain't flat. 7.5 to 10% out of the money. Now I have a couple minutes left. So Raj had a great question. He said, "Hey Wiz, what if Facebook's above 175 in a couple weeks?" The first thing I want you to do, Raj, is congratulate yourself. Whoa, wait a minute, Wiz, these short calls are in the money. Relax. First of all, you were right. We want Facebook to go up. You were right, Raj. So if these, for whatever reason, by expiration, it's getting a little crowded here. Let me delete these drawings. If it's above 175, guys, yay! All we're going to do, Raj, is buy those calls back and maybe roll them up a couple strikes and out to a couple weeks. That will happen sometimes, folks. Sometimes, you know what, man, we could have had some front month, I think we did, some front month short calls here, and all of a sudden it blew through them. Who cares? Raj, let me lay this math on you. You have to press this big red I believe button because I'm running out of time. You ready for this? Let me pull up the options chain because this is cool. This is cool math here, guys. Okay. You make more money. Where is it? With these deep in the money 80 delta calls going deeper in the money than you quote lose with the front month calls going in the money. Does that make sense, Raj and everybody? If these front month upside calls have a 0.2 delta, wow, they went up to a 0.3 delta. Don't ever, I'm going to teach you guys, got to become members, guys. Do not ever think you lost money. Here's the type of people that won't be good TGO members. Wiz, I could have made $1,000 on this. I only made 800 because those front month upside calls were in the money by 200 bucks and I had to close them. Don't sign up and become a member. You're stuck in retail trader stupidity forever. If you make $800, you made $800, folks. Some people go, yeah, but those short calls went in the money. Then roll them up in early, out early, or close them or whatever. But folks, over time, this tactic prints money. Now, I hate people that say that, but it's true in this case. When it comes to a long call diagonal, ladies and gentlemen, you have got to pick a good underlying. You do not do long call diagonals, no offense if you love Tesla, on a Tesla, on a Twitter, on things that you don't think are going to be around, that you don't know are going to be around in like 2 years, okay? So the first thing with a long call diagonal, pick a good damn stock or ETF. Apple, Facebook, the XLK, Brazil. We talked about Brazil last night. Where's all my Brazil members, man, who got into EWZ? I told you, buy the EWZ on Temer, potentially getting indicted. Right there. You see that? I didn't tell you to get in there. That would be a lie. I didn't tell you to get in there. I said right there. Look at the EWZ, guys. Great long call diagonal on Brazil. So pick a good candidate. You got it, Fish. You're welcome. Giles, do you submit this long call diagonal with protective put as a single order? Yeah, you do. I'll send this out in a text after I wrap up here, guys. But Giles, that's a very good question. The market makers recognize that as a long call diagonal with a protective put. But sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, you might get better pricing if you do what's called legging into it. Maybe, Giles, you just do the long calls and the upside call and the protective put on its own. You can split it up, Giles, absolutely, or you can try it, like that. Paul, very good question. What about the scenario of going down? First of all, Paul, what do? We put in a disaster put. The only time in my career, and it was Apple, folks, the only time my disaster put has ever been in danger, not in danger, was profitable, was with Apple when the hell was that? Right around here, guys, when it broke 100 and everybody's like, oh, it's over with Apple. So Paul asked a good question, Wiz. You're talking about the upside here. What happens if it goes down? Use your disaster put as the canary in the coal mine. If you you shouldn't wake up one day and all of a sudden the thing's down there. If it is, it means the CFO got on an airplane with all the cash and, the thing just, then that's the Rumsfeld unknown, Paul. That'll suck. But if it's doing the boiled frog in a pot, if my disaster put starts becoming profitable, Paul, that's when you start scratching your chin and go, what the hell happened? What's going on with Facebook or Apple? Should I get out of this thing now, or should I double up? So, Paul, if my disaster put's starting to turn green, you know what I did with Apple? And Fish, a lot of members were here when we did this. What did we do when our disaster put was making money down here, guys? Members, answer for me. Frank, my one contract of Facebook I put on during the January launch is up over $3,000. That paid for a full year of the TGO service. So I guess I get Wiz's political rants for free. Frank, I'm going to actually grab that one, my brother, and I'm going to put that in our replay email. So everybody, I know you can see this. I'm going to leave this up on the screen because I know you can see when I take a screenshot. Everybody see what Frank just said? I'll leave that up here. But Paul, or let me answer this real quick. When our Apple disaster puts started making money down here, what did I do? I closed those puts, took the money in. I put on new disaster puts, but what did I do with it, guys? I got long Apple. I added to this was a Jan 18 position at the time. So, Paul, it's a great question, man, and hopefully I answered it. If it's still a good trade and it's down, add to it. You got it, Fish. That's what I did. I added to my position. I took the profits from my disaster put and got longer. Now, to Paul's point, if your disaster put's green and the stock sucks, get out of it. There's your common sense wizism for the day. Does that make a sense? TP, hey Wiz, what do you do if the protective put, if it's on a tear? Get out. If your protective put is making a ton of money, you should have gotten out of the long calls. Maybe hold it. There are times when you know what, that long call, man, it's over with for whatever company I'm in. Now I'm going to pound the hell out of it to the downside. Okay, but that is a great question, man. But Frank, thanks to the little Facebook comment there. That's going in my email. Save as Frank Facebook. Frank, you made the replay email. I'll read this again. Frank, you can see the time too, guys, 11:32. He just wrote that. My one contract, remember, guys, I'm doing 5. Some people are doing 20. Some people are doing 100. Frank did 1. My one contract of Facebook Jan 19 trade that I put on during the January launch, I did a full throttle launch back in January, is up over $3,000. That paid for a full year of my service. That was one trade, guys. One contract, one trade. Frank, awesome, man. You paid for your full year. That brings a smile to my face. Julian, no, unfortunately, I'm not. Guys, I know people are asking, and I'm not ignoring that question. I'm actually going to close with it. Tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock, when we do accelerated retirement, that is when, at the end of it, is when I'm going to open up the 50 slots. I appreciate the motivated folks saying I've seen enough. That's pretty cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. After one live trade brief, people are wanting to sign up. That's what most people do, folks. When I go look at other competitor services, I play secret shopper, guys. I'm no idiot. I want to go see what the competition does. They do one of these, and they try and sell you. I want you to spend a week here, man. I want you to walk around my squadron. I want you to meet Doug. So I'm glad you want to become a member now. You'll be one of the first ones that grab it tomorrow then, okay? So, TP. You meant if the stock is on a tear to the upside, what do you do with the protective put? TP, everybody remember the Ronco Easy Oven? Everybody remember that guy, Ron Pompeo, or the little fishing rod? I'm a set it and forget it guy. TP, you could manage that put if you want. I don't. That's insurance, man. I'm not the type of guy that calls my insurance company each month and try and nickel and dime them to maybe, save $3 this month. So TP, good question. I don't do that. So good question. Andrew, no, you can try and do it all as one. How do we see the replays from last night? All right, guys, again, I'd sit here all day and answer these questions. Unfortunately, I can't, because then you won't become a member. Whoever just asked, here is the replay from last night, and the replay from today will be on this page very shortly as well. I have to send out my text alert for this long call diagonal with protective put to my members, and I also have to send out the email as well. The replay, after I do these briefs, folks, it takes like 20 minutes for it to download onto my computer and get posted. So, and that's usually a good excuse for me to get up and stretch my legs, okay? So again, I don't want to, so here's the replay page, guys. This will be up here. This recording of this will be up here shortly, and I will also obviously email out the trades as well. Okay. But great questions, guys. I went over by about 8 minutes. The primary live trade brief usually goes about an hour and a half, and I took up about 20 minutes at the beginning to kind of do a quick reintro of me and all that stuff. Watch the replay from last night if you did not attend. I go over the 7-step trade plan, and what did we do today? I gave you 2 trades where I demonstrated that trade plan. Okay, so and yes, the what's the SPX doing? It's still flat. That trade's looking good, guys. That bear call spread, I'm holding it, guys. I'd be a holder of that. And it looks like our Apple Bull put spread's already up a little bit of money as well there. Everybody having a good time? Manu, how to add a put with diagonal and thinkorswim. Manu, I don't use thinkorswim. You can give those guys a call. Christine, no, I didn't text out the Facebook trade yet. I got to do that right now. I wanted to close our primary live trade brief, and I'm going to send out the Facebook trade via text, and then I'm going to send out the email with the replay of the recording as well as the screenshots of the trade, Christine, okay? I need to get going. Jonathan, thanks, Wiz. As an existing member, it all made sense. I must have learned something over the months. Last thing I'll say, thank you, Jonathan. Remember, guys, if you're a potential new member sitting here going, holy crap, man, I feel like I just gave birth. I've never given birth. I don't know what that would feel like. But if you feel like this was a workout, good. It should have. But when you become a member here, man, and you're here, we've got people that have been here since 2010, since day one. They come for the trades and the camaraderie. This should feel a little bit like a workout, guys. But as you become a member and as you go on, things are things are good to go. Judith, I know I've learned when I can recite some of your presentation. That's awesome. Keith, how's the replay access? Can a pilot with a crazy schedule use your service? I have 7 years to build my retirement. Keith, welcome aboard, my friend. You're going to be a new member. The replay is on this page right here. I put it in the chat box, and you're also going to get an email with the replay as well. Guys, this is what the members pages look like. Let me pull up, let me show you the primary live trade brief from last week. We have a lot of aviators that are members. Are you an airline guy, Keith? I flew for FedEx and one day with American. So look at this. Here is last week's primary live trade brief. I sent out a screenshot with the trades. Look at that. There's all the trades we did last week. And then look at the bottom here. There's the recording. So folks, you don't have to attend these live trade briefs live. I showed you the power of me texting out the trade live. And also you're going to get the replay and the screenshots of all the trades. Okay? 26 years at AA, Keith. 9/11. Keith, watch the replay from last night. My first and last day at work at American was on 9/11. I was living in Keller, Texas, and I ended up racing out to Naval Air Station Fort Worth, and I flew Hornets for the reserve. So I went from potentially flying for American that day to shooting one down. Andrew, I did 30 years in the Navy. Welcome aboard, man, a fellow squid. Dan, Wiz, you not only show us trades, but you teach us how to trade. Thanks. You're welcome, man. I appreciate that, Dan. All right, guys, I'm going to stop rambling. I love the excitement. I love everybody who's a potential new member. I love all my current members being fired up. We love what we do here at TGO, guys. The next time I'm going to see you all, is tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock for accelerated retirement. So use this time between today and tomorrow to watch last night's replay. Watch this replay again if you missed something or you got in late or you had to leave early. Okay? I'm really fired up, guys. You bet, Tim. You're welcome. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and God bless. And remember, guys, make sure you follow me on Stock Twits too. I'm Wiz Check 6 right there. And if you don't know what Stock Twits is, maybe use some of this dead time as well to do that. Let me post that in the box here as well. Thanks, Fish. I appreciate that, brother. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. I'll get you the replay out here shortly. All right, God bless. I'll talk to you guys later. We'll see you.